Hello and welcome to A Cat in the Garden. I know a lot of you have been asking for another plant tour for the whole plant room because it's been a little while since I did my first one and I was working on it, but that is going to have to be delayed just a little bit. And it's because I have to completely rearrange half of this plant room. Everything behind me is going to stay the same, but the rest of the plant room has to get rearranged. And that is because, if you didn't already see on my Instagram, I am actually pregnant. So by the time this video comes out, I'll be closing in on 16 weeks pregnant, and it's honestly just getting really hard to hide it at this point. Nothing fits anymore, and I've just been, especially filming the videos outside, just thinking, oh my gosh, I look so pregnant, and it's been very hard to hide that. So yeah, that's why I figured I would announce it now. I just wasn't, I don't know, I really liked not announcing it, but it's just getting to the point where it's very, very obvious. So yeah, I have to move around a lot of my furniture because the room that is going to be the baby room has to get turned into a baby room. And there is a guest bed in there that just folds into a day bed, and that has to move in here. So we took the gray couch today and moved that out of here. So there's just a lot of things. And then of course that day bed is much bigger than that gray couch. So I've got to move everything around. And I do also, if I have the space, I wanted to get the cats another cat tree for here. I don't know if it's gonna fit now because of that day bed, but we're working on things. So the plant room tour is gonna come, it's happening, but it's just gonna take a little bit because now this room looks like a disaster and it's completely missing furniture. So that's just what's going on here. And I'm still kind of processing everything that's going on with like being pregnant and just having a pregnancy that's lasted this long. I haven't really talked about it, but if you were here, I know not all of you were here last year, but I had to sort of miss about a week of filming because I had surgery, and that's because I have had some issues with getting and staying pregnant. And one of those issues was that I had a molar pregnancy. So that wasn't really an issue with staying pregnant. It just wasn't the right kind of pregnancy. And unfortunately, it was something that had human DNA, but was never going to be a baby. And it was really, really hard to think about, really hard to talk about. But now that I'm having my rainbow baby and I'm not having a miscarriage this time or a molar pregnancy, it's a little bit easier to talk about, and I do want to talk about it a little bit. Just because it's so rare, people don't really know that it is something that can happen. I had never heard about it before, and so I think spreading that kind of awareness could be good for somebody that it happens to, because I have felt very alone in that experience for the longest time, and I just thought I would share. So basically what that is you are pregnant, but either a sperm hits an empty egg or 2 sperm hit an egg, which also could be empty. I got super unlucky and 2 sperm hit an empty egg. And what I had was called a complete molar pregnancy because there was that empty egg, and you basically, the tissue, like you don't even see any like baby parts. So I had to have a DNC last April to get that removed. And it was just really, really heartbreaking. I had wanted that baby for such a long time and I was so excited, but I got really lucky that it was caught early, because if it is not caught early, it actually spreads past your uterus and it acts like a cancer and would eventually kill you. So I had to have that surgery. I discovered that something was wrong at about 7 weeks pregnant, and at 9 weeks, I think, or 9.5, I had the surgery. So then I also couldn't try for a while to get pregnant again, several months, because they have to make sure that it doesn't come back. Because if you don't get all of the tissue out, it can start spreading again. So that was just a long journey. And it eventually led to this rainbow baby that I am so excited about. I'm very happy about it. I don't know really what all that's gonna mean for my channel. I am obviously going to keep up with my outdoor gardening. That is, and always has been actually, my #1 priority. I am in love with that way more than I ever have been with houseplants, which I know seems crazy because I have an entire room dedicated to my plants, but Outdoor gardening really is my life. It is my passion. It's what I really love. This is just something I got into because I used to live in a city when I first started moving with my husband, and we had to live in apartments in a city to be close to his work. And so I was really sick of not having anything green in my life. So I got a little Maranta in 2019, and that started all of this craziness. But I live in a house now. I have a giant garden in the back. I love all of these houseplants, but that is still gonna be a priority. I also wanna teach my children how to garden and be sustainable as they can, because that's just how I learned how to get into gardening. So I am thinking that I'm probably going to have to downsize a bit on the houseplants, maybe just focusing on bigger houseplants in the future because they are so much easier to take care of. I don't have to water my big monsteras for like 2 to 3 weeks, and that's so much better than my tiny Hoyas that I love. But if I miss a watering on them, they're just not happy, and if I miss 2 waterings, they're probably dead. So I am going to try to focus more in that direction, focus on houseplants that are easier because of everything that's been going on. I have lost more plants than I can count in the past year, just with all the surgery stuff that I had to go through and being so tired in the first trimester. I am so happy to be out of the first trimester now, but that's basically my game plan for right now. If you have had kids and houseplants and babies and houseplants, let me know how you've managed that, because that is scary to me. Looking at my Hoya cabinet and all of the time and money I've put into it, and just seeing some of the Hoyas suffering right now really makes me sad. So if you have good ways to manage keeping your plants alive, I would love to hear any advice about that, because I do want to keep as many plants alive as I can and keep them happy, but I do think there's also going to have to be some downsizing that has to happen, and really just more giving up on plants that are struggling. I know I'm pretty good about just tossing a plant if it's being too much of a hassle, but I think I need to be even more tough on some of these plants. Before the baby comes, I'm really going to try to get my collection in the best place that it possibly can be, but there are some plants that just aren't gonna make it, and that's totally okay. I am still going to be out plant shopping. I'm sure I'm still going to be buying new plants, because let's face it, if you're into houseplants, you just can't stop buying them. You know, it's really hard. And I haven't been to Wild Roots in almost a year, and I would really love to go back to Wild Roots. And I know the second I walk in there, I'm buying something. So those things are still gonna happen, and I'm still going to be doing things on this channel, but maybe when the baby comes, the videos are going to be less frequent, but I'm still gonna be here, and I'm still gonna be having fun. I still got my sweet babies. Nutmeg's just like hanging out on my lap, being such a good boy. But that's kind of a giant life update and like jump into everything that's going on and why I still haven't gotten a plant room tour out yet. Like I said, I was trying to get the plant room ready for this, and then we realized we really actually have to rearrange half of our house because the baby's coming, and that's slightly more important. I hope you would understand that. But yeah, so it's going to happen. Things are going to get done. Things are going to get rearranged, and just lots of exciting things coming, and I'm really just happy for it. I'm really happy for this next phase of life, and for Nutmeg here to be a big brother. I think he's going to be really excited about it too. He was actually the first one that knew I was pregnant. I didn't take my test until I realized he's been acting really weird lately. He won't leave me alone. He's being super protective of me. He's cuddling with me a lot more. If I'm not in his sight, he starts freaking out, and he followed me to take the test. And so I was like, you knew. And Luna knows too. She's actually been like incubating my belly every night when I'm sleeping. Saffron has no clue. She just doesn't have those instincts, I don't think. But that's okay. I think they're all gonna be really good brothers and sisters to this baby. And that's just, it warms my heart so much. So that's it for this video today. A little bit of a life update, and hopefully you understand why the plant room tour hasn't fully come out yet, but it'll happen, and there's so many nice changes happening, and it'll be really cool to just show off the room once we're done redecorating it in a way. So that's just gonna be really exciting. If you like this video though, make sure to give Nutmeg and I a thumbs up down below and subscribe so you don't miss anything from us here on the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.